When you get bored, what do you do with that energy that's just waiting to get out? Some people manage to release it in better ways than others, but I was not one of those people. My boredom led me to try to challenge myself to make a YouTube video about staying in a grocery store from nighttime until it opened again. So there I was, crouched behind a fortress of toilet paper, my camera's red recording light the only thing betraying the darkness that enveloped me. The store had closed a couple of minutes ago, and my heart was still pounding from those moments when I had almost gotten caught by both customers and workers. But with no one there, I was beginning to think that the challenge would be a breeze. As I waited in the silence, there was this feeling inside me that didn't feel right. It might have been because I was in the store when I shouldn't have been. But honestly, this wasn't the first time I'd done something like this. I should have felt like I was alone, but I didn't. For some reason, it seemed like someone was wandering through the store, as though they were still shopping despite it being after hours. The silence was too heavy, too expectant. I held my breath, listening, and spent most of my time in silence rather than talking to my camera for the video. That's when I heard my ears pick up on a subtle sound, a soft shuffle, like footsteps muffled by the rows of products. Was there someone in here after all? I racked through my brain, searching for all the different possibilities of who could still be in the store. It couldn't be a worker. They'd have turned on the lights and not been by themselves. Suddenly, the thought came to mind that it could have been a burglar, and that really made my heart race. What if it was a burglar? What if they found me? Could I fend them off? But if I tried to get help, I would definitely get in trouble too. My thoughts were racing, and with me being more of a pessimistic person, I was thinking that the worst would happen. The more time passed by, the easier it became for me to hear the soft footsteps moving throughout the store. They sounded light, but at some points heavy. All in all, they were very irregular movements, like a person who didn't have the right mind and didn't have a purpose. But one thing became painfully clear. They were slowly but surely getting louder, meaning the person was probably getting closer to where I was. As much as I wanted to do the challenge for fun, I really didn't want to get seriously hurt doing it. So I decided that I would slowly and quietly try to make my way to a safer spot, one where I couldn't be found or reached easily. But right as this idea crossed my mind, the footsteps went from moving slowly to rushing forward at crazy speed. They sounded like they were coming towards where I was too quickly for me to react to. And just as they reached me, they stopped. At that moment, it sounded and felt like they were standing right in front of my hiding spot. I was terrified, more than terrified, because there was no way I believed for a second that it was a human. I looked out and could see nothing but darkness. The store wasn't that dark, so I could still see some things. So if someone was there, I was sure that I would see them. The silence was getting too much for me to bear. I came to the conclusion that the grocery store I was hiding in was haunted at night, since there were no other explanations I could give to to what was happening. "Who's there?" I called out, more to break the silence than anything else. No answer. The store remained quiet. I tried to mentally laugh it off, but the sound died in my throat as a shadow flitted between the aisles. It was too tall, too thin to be human. My heart raced, thumping loud in my ears. I should have left then, but I didn't. Likely because I felt a mixture of fear and curiosity. The shadow didn't move and acted just like a normal shadow. Only it wasn't connected to anything that I could make out. Then, all of a sudden, I could hear the creepiest of whispers coming from no specific direction. They sounded like they were in my head. The noises grew closer, a cacophony of whispers and soft, dragging steps. I peeked over my paper barricade and saw something that looked more than just a shadow, shrouded in darkness, its eyes glinting like shards of glass. It moved with purpose, searching. I turned off my camera, hoping the light wouldn't give me away, but it was too late. The figure stopped, its head tilting as if it could see me through the darkness. I held my breath, praying it would move on. I had made a big mistake deciding to hide out in here. With a sudden rush, it charged, knocking over shelves and sending products flying. I ran, my feet slipping on the glossy floor, my breaths coming in ragged gasps. The store that once seemed so familiar was now a labyrinth of terror. I could hear it behind me, always behind me, its breath a hiss of excitement. The front doors were in sight, the night air pressing against the glass, promising safety. I slammed into the doors, pushing, shoving, but they wouldn't budge. They were locked from the outside. I was trapped. The figure loomed over me, and I knew this was no challenge. This was survival. The thing had to have been some kind of ghost or paranormal entity that caused mischievous chaos at night when everyone was gone and was upset to see me there. I don't know when I blanked out, but I suddenly woke up back in my spot. I was still in the store, still alone. The light of the morning was almost blinding, and workers were beginning to make their way into the store. I kept myself hidden and listened to them talk as I tried to wrap my head around what had just happened. Then I heard one of them groan about how the products on the shelves kept falling to the floor as though they were knocked by something. One of them answered that at night there was this strange creature that would keep knocking things and creating messes. They said they saw it once, and that they were glad they didn't have to work at night when it was active because of how scary it was. Once I heard that, I made the decision that I would think more wisely before hiding out in just any store. The fact that something could be going on without you ever realizing is pretty crazy. And every now and then, I'll watch the video I made to remind myself of that fact. Of course, at certain points in the video, it suddenly cuts out, which it's never done before. So obviously these creatures possess strange abilities that keep them unknown, at least until you have a creepy encounter with them. Hope you enjoyed that story, and I'll see you in the next one. See you on the flip side.